What is up? No video. Simply because I don't have storage on my phone to create a video and then upload a video, and I'm not looking to make a um, high-end video, nothing like that, just to make money on or anything. I'm just trying to just show y'all stuff for your benefit and for me to remember in the future. Um, so I put the bottom end together. I went through and I measured every single piston per cylinder, and then checked my clearances between the piston skirt and the cylinder walls, and ended up not having as much clearance as what I really wanted. So I went back in and I honed my cylinders out with one of these kind of hones, and what was I saying? I wasn't happy with it, the clearances. So I went back in and I honed it with that, and I used the stones it came with, which were 180 grit. And I put my bottom end together, and I couldn't turn the motor over easily. I mean, I could, but not as easy as I wanted to. So I took it back apart. I went and got four my cylinder hone. Honed every single cylinder out, very little, just enough to take the edge off and take away the 180 grit. 180 grit. The grit. Let me wipe my camera off here. It's pretty dirty. It stays dirty out here. I swear this thing's about to freaking fall apart or something. It's leaning now. That's cool. Now it's not. But anyways, I went back in, 400 grit, did the cross hatching and everything. And I went back in and reassembled the bottom end. In the process, I had a buddy over here helping me out, and he really did help me out a lot. I will give, but he helped me push the pistons out, and I was catching them because I wanted to hold the rings as they came out so they didn't spring open and break, because they're molly rings. And well, this is bent, but there's the tool he was using to push the rod slipped off at one point and just put a little tiny nick right there. You can see that little tiny spot in one of my rod bearings. No big deal. Changed them out, checked everything. Everything's good. Running standard everything. Eagle crank, as y'all probably already know if you watch any of the other videos, which I don't really know what's on the other videos. Here's the other one. I don't know why, but it put a little line in it. It's not very deep. Like, I can barely even feel it with my fingernail. And I think that's just in the coating of the Molly Cleveland bearing. It's the only bearings I use. It's the only bearings I used in this motor are Molly Clevites. These are the best run-of-the-mill type of motor, mid-performance kind of engine, not high performance, I'm not running twin turbos and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. It's a 30 over, flat top piston, headers, RPM air gap, 750 Holly, or Edelbrock, whatever. So I use these, and these bearings have, see, it's kind of like dull-like. And then if I take, like, this is a little exaggerated, but it's a 400 grit, that little coating comes off and it becomes shiny. That coating does help a lot. And the only thing I used for assembly, except for the cam is different. But as for rod bearings, main bearings, I use STP oil treatment. It says contains zinc anti-wear agent. So what does that mean? Let's see, what is the exact name of the, it does not say, but it's basically zinc and phosphorus and stuff like that. Comp Cams makes this stuff, and this is engine, that's a big moth flying around, engine break-in oil additive. It's part number 159. If you run a flat tappet cam, you need to run a bottle of this for every single oil change. And this is $10 a bottle, but you do have to run it every single time you change your oil. First time to the last time, you do have to run this with flat tappet cams. And the reason why I say that, about drop it. Modern oil, and this is a diesel oil. This is Shell Rotella T4. That contains some detergents and stuff in it. This is a 1540 oil. Let me talk about that for just a second. Even though this is a diesel oil, this will contain more zinc than normal oil will, zinc and phosphorus. You add this and maybe a little bit of this if you want to. It won't hurt. I will not add this in with the 1540. And the reason why is it oil. I don't. It will make it very hard for it to pump oil. So this is thick, and this STP oil treatment, here it is in a bottle, and it's 50 degrees outside. It's very thick. It's like honey. It's like honey when it's warm too. So I will not be adding STP to it. All my bearings are coated in it. The can has comp cams part number 152, and this is cannon lifter installation lube. So you do have to use this on flat tappet cams when you install the cam, and also put it on the face of the lifter and all around it, just because you do need lube all the way around it. It will help oil pressure, and it'll keep from things getting scratched or whatever. But here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be running the Shell Rotella T4 in a bottle of this. Now you're kind of thinking, this is 4 quarts. I believe this, yeah, 1 gallon. So it's 4 quarts, and this is probably what, this is 12 fluid ounces. So that's basically half, no, that's a quarter gallon almost. Wait. So I'm a little bit short. So if I need to add some, which I'm going to have to, I'm going to overfill the oil just a little bit, because we got an oil pump, all the oil galleys, the crank, the heads, and everything that needs oil that does not have oil yet. So with this and this, I will add a very, very thin oil. I'm going to get 1 quart of thin oil, and then I'm going to add to this, just basic run-of-the-mill oil. The engine has to run at about 2,000 to 3,000 RPM for cam break-in, set the timing, set the advance, and all that stuff like that. I'm going to do all that stuff. After it does that, I'm gonna drive it about probably 300, 400, maybe 500 miles, and then that oil will be completely drained and then replaced. And I will be going to Valvoline 10W30, probably 10W30, and also going to be running a bottle of the good stuff. We have to run the good stuff at the flat tappet cams. You can wipe the cantaloupe. So, last time I did a video, I don't know what car I was talking about. I have 3 cars. I have a 1983 Z28 Camaro, I have a 1984 Z28 Camaro, and I have a 1988 IROC Z. The 84 could be saved. It really could be, but the door hinges are gone. The interior is gone. The floor pans aren't that great. I could live with it, but it's not that great. I do not have any interior center console, and I do have most of the plastics to that car, but I do not have door panels. See, that car is electric everything, power everything. AKA, what is everything? Windows, locks, and hatch. And then the later models, they added in the electric driver's window. Mirror. I think they might also do it in the passenger. I don't really know, because I never had one. I've had a bunch of 3rd gens, but not one with power mirrors. Actually, I think my 88 IROC has that. But anyways, the issue is what motor, what car to set the motor in. The 88 IROC came with tune port injection. I have all that over there. If I was to put a motor in that car, I'd want to run the factory hood, because the car has fantastic paint. very good, very good paint for an 88 IROC. It's probably been resprayed. That's how good paint it is. I'd run 2-port injection on it. And you're probably asking yourself why. Why would you want to run that kind of old fuel injection, the old style fuel injection? The main reason why is simplicity. I could just put it right there. All the wiring is there. I can plug it right up. I don't have to worry about cold start, fuel pump, this or that, blah, 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 like I have to right now with my carburetor. Don't have to worry about tuning it. The 2-port injection I have has upgraded injectors, and the car has a tune on it somewhat. There's not a whole lot of tuning you can do on that car. I have a 350 turbo trans for it, and I have another one. I have a 350C, which has the torque converter lockout on it, and that's what came out of the 83. So the 88 and the 83 both have transmissions, both have the correct wiring, they both have wheels and tires, and a complete interior that are in good condition. Here's the issue. The 88 has been wrecked. The rear passenger quarter panel will have to have the passenger tail light and the passenger side of the bumper cover are trashed. So I've already got those 2 parts ready to go that can replace. But the body work, it's even got a dent in the passenger door. All that stuff would have to be removed. The car would have to be painted and everything in order for that car to run and drive. I mean, not really, but the differential that's in it is out of a 87 IROC. It is open right now. It is a drum brake car. I do not have drums, shoes, springs, or rear brake lines. They were cut off when the differential was pulled out. I would have to change the differential cover gasket and fill it with oil. I'd have to get struts, all the bolts to hold the rear end in the car, and the front tires would have to be replaced in order for that car to be running and driving, and I'd have to run 2-port unless I wanted to go change the hood and forget all the wiring, ignore the check engine light on the gauge. I mean on the gauge cluster, and that just sounds like a lot of work. I am going to keep the car. It does have a title right behind me in that yellow folder right there is the title for that car. So if I wanted to build that car, I can do that. But I do not want to put this motor in that car, and let me tell you why. Right now, my main priority is getting a nice old Camaro on the road. Now, my 1983 Z28 is of the 1% of the 1% GM manufactured that came with the center console clock. Now, oh, that's great. Yeah, let's stick a motor in that. That's definitely better than IROC. No. I've always had a little soft spot for that car because the way I got it. I had a rusted out, completely trashed. The car was scrap. 1989 Pontiac Firebird that came from Wisconsin. Car for pretty much free. It was a 5-speed car. I went and bought another transmission was bad that was in it. It was a Tremec T5. I mean a Borg Warner T5. I went and bought a Tremec T5 to put in it. I had a new clutch ready to go. Was working on the car. I was wanting to get it running first, and never could figure out anything on the car. It just did not have power to fuel pump, nothing. And most likely the issue was ground, because I didn't realize it until it took me a while to notice, but I was really looking up underneath it and checking everything out. But like where the rear end is going under the car, and then it has those little arms that go up to the body, where those were, the body was rusted out in front of those points where they bolt on, and was actually hanging down. That's how bad that car was. So I traded that car. Someone was over here looking at it, and they wanted the car. They wanted it for parts because it was so rusty, and they knew it was rusty. They said, "Hey, I've got a 1983 Z28 parts car." I said, "Okay, show me some pictures of it." They're showing pictures and everything. They're like, "Well, I can't let the wheels go with it, but I'll give you the car as a roller." Not even a roller, since they don't have wheels on and tires on it. But he said, "I'll bring you the car for the Firebird if you let me take the transmission." I said, "Okay, that's fine." keep in mind the pictures weren't that great. They pulled up in front of my house with a tow dolly, and they had their car in the back of it. And I said, wait a minute. I started looking that car over, and I started looking at it. I'm like, man, I was like, this is like a pristine car. There's nothing wrong with this. So it doesn't have a power plant. They gave me the transmission and everything to it. I mean, I was like, man, this is a really nice car. And they're like, yeah, I know. The guy sold it to us as a parts car, $500, and we bought it because we need interior parts, but we couldn't take parts from it because it was just too good. So I said, yeah, I know, right? So the only issue with the 83, it's got some hail damage to it on the roof, but yeah, it's not bad. I ain't worried about it. It's not rusted out. I mean, it's got one rust hole in the driver's side floorboard in front of the seat. It's about this big around, maybe this big. That's okay. I'll repair that. But it's got everything. Everything. I've got the transmission sitting right here, actually, for it, which is the 350C. So I started looking at it. Even has the original steering wheel, original interior. I mean, when I took the passenger seat out of that car, you know how they have the plastic bracket that the seatbelt goes through? When I took that off, it even still had the plastic that that GM would have put over the leather seats from the factory. So it still had that under it. And the car is really, really nice if I've just put a little bit of work into it. The biggest issue with the car is the fact that the driver's side window was busted out of it before I got it. So I need to put a window in it. I do not have any clue how to do that, but I don't really know how to do it. So I was thinking, maybe I can get someone out here that knows what they're doing. Take the glass out of my 84 parts car, the one I was talking about that has the rust and everything, and let them take the window out and put it in my 83. Now the 83 is white. It originally had the gold ground effects on it. It has the wheels and tires off my 84 Z28. The wheels I have cleaned up. They have good tires all around, new valve stems all around. Tires do not leak air, which is good. It has a bigger tires in the rear, bigger in height and width in the rear, but all four tires are the same brand and same. I mean, they're the same tires, just different size, all the way around. Those tires still take about 30, probably 25, 30,000 miles. They'll still be good. Well, before they'll have to be replaced. So I was thinking, everything is there for that car, and I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead. Let's drag the IROC back here to my backyard, and we'll pull the 83Z up there, ready to go. We'll get it ready. The great thing is that 84 had a 305 in it that had a rod knot. That car actually ran and drove. I'll probably put some videos of it up on YouTube here soon of it. Just a collection of videos of it running and everything before I pulled the motor out. I just got rid of the transmission last week. The motor was pulled out a couple months ago. I was actually going to rebuild the motor and just kind of restore the car just to have something to play around with, but I just didn't seem like it was necessary. I mean, the motor was just trash. I mean, all reality, it was just trash. But the only thing good that came out of that motor was brand new distributor, a brand new starter, the flex plate. All that stuff is going to be transferred over to my 355, which all of y'all probably hear, all of y'all 2 or 3 people are probably here to see the 355, aka 350 board 30 over. Let's get to it. First, I wanted to replace the steering wheel in my 83. This is the steering wheel out of my 88 IROC. It's pretty good. I had another one just like it. I have another one just like it that I took out of the 84, but it was rusted and everything, and I just don't feel like taking the time to clean it, prep it, paint it. So I've got. Can I turn my camera around? Yes, I can. Hopefully it's not too dirty. Yep, and it's freaking disgusting. Sorry. Clean this thing up a little bit. So, this is the piece that goes behind it, behind the steering wheel. I repainted it. This is the cover, the horn button. Repainted it, even though it's not too pretty. The adapter, the horn plate, the horn wire, bolts, and this is the plastic pieces that go right there on the other steering wheel. So here's everything for that steering wheel. We're ready to go. Pick up everything here, and then I'll show you the motor. Adapter. Still looking pretty. Keep the cardboard over it because my chickens come in here a lot. Here you go. Here's your quick glimpse of the motor. Got pulleys on it now. Harmonic balancer. I did get a new harmonic balancer. I had the one that came off of my 305, but it was just trash. It was trash. So I didn't even look at it twice. I just replaced it. Brand new one. I painted it black. Same offset as the original one. So these are the pulleys off the 305. So these will work. I was going to go to nice aluminum pulleys, but I had a water pump pulley, and I was going to get one down here to replace it to match, but I just didn't want to have to worry about offset accessories and everything like that, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Here's the bottom alternator bracket, and that is not been repainted. Here's the top alternator bracket. It goes on here, bolts onto the intake right there. This has been repainted. I painted it blue at one point, but I repainted it black, gloss black. It took me 4 or 5 coats because I went back through after I painted it and sanded it, made it look better. It was an old harmonic balancer. I was going to reuse it, but I'm not going to do that. New intake bolts, new intake gaskets. These are valve cover bolts. These are not going to work for these aluminums. I'll show you why in a minute. This is going to be oil pressure, condenser, and sensor. This will not be aftermarket sensor in that same hole. Here's the tune port stuff. The new oil pan I bought. I bought this brand new. Obviously, it's gotten some surface rustling inside. I need to take care of that soon. I coated that thing with oil. But I went to this Felpro oil pan gasket. These are the upgraded ones that have the thicker front seal. There's the old oil pan hardware from the 305. Here's some of the tune port stuff, and the rest of it's down there. Here's the old steering wheel that I was going to try to restore, but I ain't going to. Here are the heads. These are Holley aluminums, 64cc chamber, 190cc or 200cc runners on the intake. Chevrolet aluminum valve covers. Upgraded springs, upgraded valves. Throttle body gasket. Just kidding. Carburetor gasket. Carburetor hardware. New oil dipstick. Old GM head bolts. Here's the new starter and distributor I was talking about that came out of the 305. This is a big starter, but it will work because it came out of a car just like the one I got. So, and the distributor will work because it has the same plug as the 83. They're both brand new. I haven't cleaned them at all. These are straight off the car. I mean, look. That was in a car, in a motor that ran. I didn't clean it or nothing. I mean, I have to clean it before I install it and everything, but it's a brand new one. So I'll be using that for sure. New plugs and plug wires, of course. The basic AC Delco stuff, of course. Oil pan is painted the same color block. H631CP .030, 30 over pistons, 2 valve relief, flat top, high protected. Conk cams, 60 thumb, not really RV cam than anything. Molly Cleveite lifters, those are installed for some reason. GM timing cover, brand new water pump. Of course, always need to replace water pump, oil pump, everything like that. Keep everything good. So we'll give it a quick rotate. Can't rotate it all the way because the lifters are in it, sadly. New front sill, rear sill installed. Everything's torqued and ready to go. I just need to finish installing the oil pickup and tack weld it in. Here's the flex plate deal in there. And this thing does turn over a lot easier than it did, or no it don't. But anyways, motor mounts are installed. They've been painted with black high heat paint. These are the original bolts. We'll be reusing them. Do you have a new oil filter ready to go? New plastic coupler for the oil pump drive. New oil pump, of course. All new bearings, ARP main bolts. GMX rods for the rods. They're press fit. No big deal. I do have, my buddy's got a set of rods he's going to sell me for the next motor. They're Eagle floating wrist pins. These are going to be pretty cool. But can't turn it one hand. I ain't gonna worry about it right now. But rings are separated like they're supposed to be. There's the head gaskets. That's not the headers I'm running. Sadly, I wish. But these are right here. These are shorties. I do need to cut this stuff off the bottom here. And have to change all that stuff out, but no big deal. There's the other one down there. It's not been painted yet. It's a lot of prep work and cleaning them. What else? Transmission dipstick tube that I'm not going to be using. Actually, we're using this old one right here. Yep. Fresh and ready to go. Brand new. I got a new, just like it, because this came out of the 83's transmission, and it's going back in the 83. So if we reuse this one, yeah, I'm actually going to reuse this one. I'm going to clean it up and paint it, and I'll paint this black and then put a clear red on it, make it kind of purplish on the top, and bend it back. For some reason it's bent. I'm going to reuse this. It won't look too bad. It's not bent or anything. I'm just going to clean it and repaint it. Replace the gasket. The seal at the bottom. No big deal. I'll go ahead and show you the lifters. I mean not the lifters. Man. I went crazy at 5:30 in the morning, I guess. But here's the rockers. These are PRW because they don't need to be 1.6. They just need to be 1.5. So here they are. You have oil galleys to the tip. And I guess that's supposed to be, I don't know what that is. I guess it's where oil pumps at. New push rods. I guess they're new. My buddy gave them to me. I did have to clean them though, but no big deal. They're actually the right length, so it'll work. Go ahead and close that up so they don't get dirty. There you go, PRW. Traded. You got a good trade on these right here. Some brand new speakers. Don't care for them. I guess I'm gonna run this air cleaner for now. Whoa, what was that? I don't know about it. It's chrome. The only thing chrome on this whole thing is air cleaner. Everything else aluminum. Oh, I guess it'll match the, no it wouldn't. But here's the fuel pump block off plate I bought. I signed it for the heck of it, but it's just aluminum one I bought at the speed shop. It's got a single roller Molly Cleavot, all metal timing set, of course. Eagle crank, like I said, GMX rods, Speed Pro pistons, Molly rings from Hastings, comp cams, Molly Cleavot lifters, Molly Cleavot bearings, ARP bolts, chrome timing cover bolts. I'm gonna have to get a timing tab. Go see how far that one is back. You're not gonna be able to see timing, so I do have to get one that bolted up right here, and then come over. The adjustable one, and I believe these, all three of these are for the power steering. So we'll be running power steering on the block. I want it to be a block quantity motor. So I gotta go get a few things, a few little knickknacks, aka head bolts, some other little stuff here and there, and put this thing together. And I will be running PCV on this motor. Here's the hose. I might not use that. I might change that most of it. It's soft lines all over the place. PCV valve right there on this valve cover, and that will be on the driver's side, and then the passenger side will have the oil fill. Speaking of oil fill, I need to get my cap to fit. My cap's a little tight. Fit in this hole. But yeah, I got these. I guess these are tall. I got these off Facebook Marketplace. $30. I wasn't going to pass that up. The only issue is I can't reuse my valve cover bolts, valve cover hardware. And everybody wants to go to the T-handles and stuff like that. That's cool if you got a solid lifters, but I have hydraulics or spring loaded, so I will not be getting T-handles. I'll be getting bigger long enough to run in there into the head. Here's the old hardware. It's a little stud with a nut. So a GM ram. So I was going to run. Oh well. It's got a heavy spring on it. But yeah, so I got to get to cleaning that oil pan, and then I have to get oil fill cap fit in there, and then I got to run out to the speed shop and get some more parts. But I'm going to end this video here. It's at 32 minutes, believe it or not. So thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.